On September 3rd, 2024, my wife posted a photo with her affair partner, called him her soulmate, and 250,000 people liked it. By September 4th, those same people knew everything, and I'd already blocked her number. If you've got some time and maybe a strong drink, settle in. This one's a ride. So here's what I need you to understand first. I didn't start out as the kind of guy who'd blow up his wife's entire career on Instagram. 3 months before that post went live, I was still the guy holding the ring light at 6 in the morning, making sure the golden hour hit her face just right for her authentic morning routine content. I was Michael Harrison, 34, software engineer, and professional invisible man. Before the post, before the comment that ended everything, before I became that guy from the Instagram revenge story, I spent 3 years believing I was part of something real, a partnership, a team. My wife Lauren built a wellness influencer career, 250,000 followers, brand deals, the whole thing. And I was right there behind the camera, literally. I filmed everything, set up her equipment, stayed out of frame, and I told myself that was love, that was support. Then one day she posted a professional photo shoot with another man, called him her soulmate, and I realized I'd been erased from my own marriage, not just cheated on, deleted. So I decided to tell the truth, publicly, with receipts. This is the story of how authentic living became the biggest lie I ever believed, and how I finally learned what living authentically actually means. It's not pretty, but it's real. Let me take you back to the beginning. 5 years ago, I met Lauren Hartley at a housewarming party. Our friends Sarah and Kevin had just bought a place in Pasadena, and I almost didn't go. I'm not really a party guy, never have been, but Kevin insisted, so I showed up with a bottle of wine and low expectations. Lauren was in the kitchen, arguing with someone about whether overnight oats were actually healthy or just a marketing scam. She was funny, sharp, completely unpretentious. She worked in marketing for a skincare company, had maybe 2,000 Instagram followers, posted pictures of her dog and hiking trails. Normal stuff, real stuff. We talked for 3 hours that night. About everything except social media, actually. We bonded over cooking. She loved trying new recipes. I loved the science of why things worked in the kitchen. We went on a hike that next weekend, then another. 6 months later, we moved in together. For the first 2 years, it was good. Really good. We'd cook dinner together most nights, take road trips up the coast without posting about them, watch terrible reality TV, and make fun of the editing. I'd go to work, she'd go to work, and we'd come home to each other. Simple, private, hours. Her Instagram back then was casual, maybe a post a week, usually nature shots or food. I was in some of them. Not a lot because I've always been camera shy, but enough. There's this one photo from Big Sur, both of us windblown and grinning, her head on my shoulder. I looked at that photo a lot in the months after everything fell apart. Tried to remember when she stopped looking at me like that. The shift started sometime in year 2. One of her posts, a sunrise photo from a solo camping trip with some caption about mindfulness, went weirdly viral. 50,000 likes. A wellness brand reached out about a partnership. Then another. Within 6 months, Lauren had quit her marketing job and was making more money posting on Instagram than either of us had made in our old careers. I was happy for her. Genuinely. This was her moment, you know? And she was good at it. She had this way of talking to the camera that felt intimate. Like she was your best friend telling you secrets. Her brand was all about authentic living, mindfulness, intentional choices, balance, real talk about mental health. She'd post these long captions about vulnerability and growth, and people ate it up. The followers kept climbing. 50K became 100K became 200K. The brand deals got bigger. Supplement companies, yoga mat brands, skincare lines. Our living room became her studio. Our dining table became her content planning headquarters. Our life became content. And I became the cameraman. It happened gradually. So gradually I didn't really notice until it was done. First it was just, hey babe, can you film this real quick? Then it was, can you wake up early tomorrow to catch the good light? Then it was full production days, setting up 3 different camera angles, managing lighting, editing footage while she planned the next shoot. I told myself I was being supportive, that this was temporary until she could afford to hire help, that I was proud of her success, and I was. I really was. But somewhere in there, Lauren stopped wanting me in the photos. She never said it outright. It was always framed as aesthetic choices. I'm going for a more minimalist vibe. The algorithm favors single-subject content. You're so camera-shy anyway, babe. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. So I stayed behind the camera. And then I disappeared from the posts entirely. By year 3 of our relationship, if you looked at Lauren's Instagram, you'd have no idea she was married, no mention of a partner, no evidence I existed. Just Lauren living her best authentic life, solo. Our friends started joking about it. Does Lauren's husband even exist, or is he a myth? Kevin asked me once over beers. I laughed it off, told him I preferred privacy anyway, that I didn't need validation from strangers on the internet. I told myself that a lot, actually. I told myself I was choosing invisibility, that I was secure enough in our relationship that I didn't need to be shown off, that her success was our success. Looking back now, I see it clearly. I wasn't choosing anything. I was being erased, slowly, methodically, completely. And I let it happen because I thought that's what love looked like. I should have seen the other signs. But when you're that deep in something, you miss what's right in front of your face. By June of 2024, our life had settled into a routine that I kept telling myself was normal. I'd wake up at 6 to set up her ring light and prep her morning smoothie. Had to be photogenic, so lots of berries, perfect color gradient. Lauren would roll out of bed at 6:30, do her actual morning routine, then do her content morning routine. Those were different, if you're wondering. Content morning routine had meditation, gratitude journaling, gentle stretching. Real morning routine was checking her phone in bed and complaining about her back. I'd film her talking to the camera about intention and presence while she completely ignored me. Then she'd check the footage. We'd do it again if the lighting was wrong, and I'd head to my home office to actually work while she edited and scheduled posts. My office was technically a corner of the bedroom. Her content studio, our living room, took up most of the apartment. My desk was crammed next to the closet, my monitors balanced on a too small table, while Lauren's setup sprawled across the main space with perfect natural light and 17 different plants positioned for maximum aesthetic value. I worked in tech, senior software engineer at a mid-sized company, good pay, flexible hours, mostly remote, which was great for Lauren because it meant I was always available to help film. Less great for me because I never really left work, never really left the apartment, never really existed outside the role of support system. The money wasn't an issue. Between my salary and her brand deals, we were doing well, really well. We'd upgraded to a bigger place in Woodland Hills, had a joint checking account, talked vaguely about buying a house someday. On paper, everything looked perfect. But something had shifted in Lauren, or maybe it had always been there, and I just finally noticed. She'd become cold when the camera was off. Distant. We hadn't had sex in 6 weeks. When I tried to initiate, she'd claim exhaustion. I'm so drained from creating, babe. My nervous system needs rest. She'd sleep in the guest room most nights. Better sleep hygiene, she said. Conversations became transactional. Can you film this? Did you order that tripod? I need you to run to the store. I'm out of almond milk for tomorrow's content. I told myself it was just stress. Building a brand was hard work. She'd be more present once things stabilized. Then Ethan Cole entered the picture. Well, he'd always been around the edges, another wellness influencer, ran some kind of spiritual life coaching business out of Venice Beach. But in early 2024, Lauren started collaborating with him more. They'd done a few joint posts before, nothing unusual in the influencer world. But suddenly it was constant. Ethan and I are planning a content series on conscious partnerships. Ethan and I are doing a collab next week about aligned energy. Ethan wants to cross-promote the morning routine videos. I noticed his name came up more than mine did in Lauren's daily conversation. I noticed his hand lingering on her shoulder in photos, just a beat too long. I noticed the comments on their posts. You two have such amazing chemistry. Power couple vibes. Wait, is Lauren single? That last one should have been my wake-up call, but when I mentioned it to Lauren, casually just, hey, people keep asking if you're single, she just laughed. Let them wonder. Mystery is good for engagement. You know you're my person, babe. You don't need external validation, right? And like an idiot, I said, right. If you've ever ignored a red flag, you know that feeling. That little voice saying something's wrong and the louder voice telling you you're being paranoid, insecure, controlling. I didn't want to be that guy. So I ignored my gut. I kept filming, kept supporting, kept being invisible. The night everything started to crack open was late June. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious. Just a small moment that I couldn't stop thinking about. Lauren was in the shower. Her phone was on the bathroom counter and it buzzed. I wasn't trying to snoop. I was literally just walking past, brushing my teeth in the hallway bathroom because she'd taken over the main one for her nighttime skincare content. The screen lit up. Text from Ethan, 11:47 p.m. Still thinking about this afternoon? My stomach dropped. That emoji, that time, that phrasing. I stood there, toothbrush in my mouth, staring at those words. There were innocent explanations. Maybe they'd had a great content meeting. Maybe they'd filmed something they were excited about. Maybe I was reading into it, but my hands were shaking. Lauren came out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel, saw her phone screen was lit. Did it buzz? I should have been honest, should have asked about the text right then. Instead, I said, didn't notice. She grabbed the phone quickly, read the message, her face completely neutral. Then she got into bed without a word and turned away from me. I lay awake for 3 hours that night. That text burned into my brain. Still thinking about this afternoon. What happened in the afternoon? I'd been working. She'd said she was filming solo content at a local park. Had Ethan been there? Why would he text her so late if it was just work? I told myself I was being crazy. Insecure. That I was letting my own issues about being invisible make me paranoid. But that was the last normal night of my marriage. I just didn't know it yet. Over the next 3 weeks, I started paying attention. Really paying attention. And once you start looking, you see everything. Lauren's schedule changed. She had always done occasional weekend retreats for content, wellness getaways, digital detox trips, that kind of thing. Usually she'd invite me, even if she didn't want me in the posts. A lot of influencer couples did that. Public brand, private support system. But now the invitations stopped. This one's just for content creators, babe. You'd be bored. Or, it's a professional development thing, not really a couple's vibe. Fine. Reasonable. Except these retreats were happening every other weekend. Ojai one week, Big Sur the next, then Joshua Tree. Always the same retreat centers. Always with the same group of wellness influencers. Always including Ethan. I started checking our shared calendar, the one we'd set up when we first moved in together so we could coordinate our lives. The entries were vague now. Content retreat, wellness workshop, no details, no exact locations, no end times that made sense. One weekend in July, Lauren said she was going to a digital detox retreat in Ojai, posted about it on her Instagram, a photo of herself in meditation pose at sunrise, caption about disconnecting to reconnect with my authentic self. Except when I checked Find My Friends, yeah, we still had that turned on, holdover from the early days when we'd use it to find each other in crowds. Her location showed a boutique hotel in Malibu. Not Ojai, Malibu. I checked Ethan's Instagram. He'd posted the same day, a sunset photo from a beach. The caption was about finding peace in presence. The geotag, Malibu. My engineer brain kicked in. I opened a spreadsheet, started cataloging dates, locations, posts, cross-referencing Lauren and Ethan's content. The pattern was undeniable. Every time Lauren said she was at a retreat, Ethan posted from the same location. Sometimes the same location at the same time, within minutes of each other. Sometimes their photos had the same background elements, the same table at a cafe, the same hiking trail, the same hotel balcony view. I must have looked insane, building this spreadsheet at 2 a.m, but I felt vindicated. I wasn't crazy. Something was happening. But I still didn't confront her. Want to know why? Because I was scared. Scared she'd gaslight me. Scared she'd make me feel paranoid. Scared she'd turn it around on me for not trusting her. Scared she'd be angry that I was tracking her location and analyzing her posts like some kind of stalker. Scared she'd tell me the truth, and I'd have to deal with it. So I kept watching, kept collecting data, kept being the perfect supportive husband. Then in late July, we had dinner with Sarah and Kevin. Normal couple dinner, nothing fancy. But the whole night felt off. Sarah kept giving me these looks, pitying looks. The kind that said she knew something I didn't, or maybe something she thought I knew, but was pretending not to know. Kevin was overly cheerful, like he was compensating for something. We were talking about Lauren's latest brand deal, some big supplement company partnership. And Sarah said, "That's amazing. And Ethan's part of that campaign too, right?" Lauren lit up. "Yes, we're actually planning a whole content series together. The synergy is incredible." Sarah's eyes flicked to me. "That's great. You guys spend a lot of time together." There was weight in how she said it. Lauren either didn't notice or didn't care. After dinner, Kevin pulled me aside while the women were in the bathroom. "Hey man, you doing okay?" The way he asked made my chest tight. "Yeah, why?" Kevin hesitated. "Just checking in. You know we love you both. Just want to make sure you're good." "I'm fine," I said. "Why wouldn't I be?" He didn't push it, but I knew. They'd seen something, heard something. Maybe Lauren had said something to Sarah. Maybe they'd seen Lauren and Ethan together somewhere. Maybe everyone knew except me. Or maybe I knew, and I was just too scared to admit it. When we got home that night, I finally said something. Sarah and Kevin were acting weird. Lauren was already scrolling her phone on the couch, checking engagement metrics probably. Were they? Yeah, like they think something's wrong with us. She looked up annoyed. What could possibly be wrong? I don't know. You tell me. You're spending a lot of time with Ethan. The air shifted. Lauren's face went cold. Are you seriously going to do this right now? Do what? Ask about my wife's schedule? No, you're insinuating something. You're listening to gossip instead of trusting me. She stood up, and suddenly I was the one being attacked. I'm building a career, Michael. A real career. Ethan is a professional colleague. We collaborate because it's good for both our brands. But apparently you'd rather believe our friend's jealous gossip than support your own wife. I didn't say I don't support you. You're supposed to trust me. That's what marriage is. But you're acting paranoid and insecure. And honestly, it's not a good look. I backed down. Of course I backed down. I apologized for even bringing it up. Told her I did trust her, that I was just feeling disconnected lately, that maybe we could spend more time together. She said she needed space, that I was being clingy, that she was going to sleep in the guest room because she needed to protect her energy. I lay awake in our bed alone, feeling like the villain of my own story. That was how she did it, how she'd probably been doing it the whole time, turn my reasonable concerns into my personal failings, make me the problem, make me feel grateful she was even tolerating my presence. But I was done letting it slide. The next day, while Lauren was out filming content, I did something I never thought I'd do. I logged into our shared iCloud account. We'd set it up years ago for convenience, shared photos, calendars, backups. I managed all our tech stuff, so I had all the passwords. Lauren probably didn't even remember we were on a family plan. I went to her message backup folder, and there it was, everything. Months and months of deleted texts with Ethan. Messages she thought were gone, automatically backed up to the cloud. I should have stopped reading after the first few, but I couldn't. I read for 4 hours straight. The affair started in August 2023, almost a year ago, 14 months. At first, the messages were normal, professional, planning content, discussing collaboration schedules. Then, in October 2023, things shifted. Ethan. I can't stop thinking about our conversation yesterday. You're unlike anyone I've ever met. Lauren. I feel the same. I've never connected with someone on this level before. By November, they were saying, I love you. By December, they were meeting at hotels, making plans, talking about futures that didn't include me. I saw the photos they'd sent each other, explicit ones. Lauren's face, very clearly Lauren, doing things with Ethan that she hadn't done with me in over a year. I saw the hotel confirmations. Every single retreat had been a hotel stay with Ethan. Couples packages, spa treatments for 2, romantic dinners charged to our joint credit card. She'd been charging her affair to our joint credit card. I saw texts where Lauren complained about me. Just filmed morning routine with Michael. God, I can't wait to be free of this. Soon, my love. He's so clingy lately, asking questions. I might need to do damage control. Ethan, I can't keep pretending. I need to be with you, fully, publicly. There were texts about me being in the way of her brand evolution, about how having a software engineer husband doesn't fit the aesthetic, about how Ethan understood her authentic self in ways I never could. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely scroll. There were texts about their plans to go public, about how they'd frame the narrative, about how Lauren would position herself as outgrowing her marriage and choosing conscious alignment. They were planning a joint wellness retreat business, already had a venue lined up in Tulum, had sent partnership proposals to brands. This wasn't just an affair, this was an exit strategy. Lauren was planning to leave me, on her timeline, with her narrative, where I'd be the husband who couldn't support her growth, and Ethan would be her soulmate who helped her become her authentic self. I sat at my desk as the sun came up. My entire reality shattered. People say they felt their heart break. Mine didn't break. It just stopped, went numb. I felt nothing and everything at once. I had two choices: confront her now or plan. If I confronted her now, she'd control the narrative. She'd been planning this for months. She had her story ready. She'd gaslight me, make me look unstable, probably accuse me of violating her privacy by reading her messages. She'd tell our friends and her followers a carefully curated version where I was the problem. She'd still get her Ethan, her brand, her new life, and I'd be the bitter ex-husband in the background. Or I could be smart about it. I looked at everything I had access to. 14 months of messages, hotel receipts, credit card statements showing charges I now understood, photos, a complete timeline of lies. And I remembered Lauren's most used phrase, the foundation of her entire brand, authentic living. I started a new folder on an encrypted drive, took screenshots of everything, downloaded every message, every photo, every receipt, organized them by date, cross-referenced with her Instagram posts to show exactly when she was lying to her followers. Then, I backed everything up, cloud storage, physical USB drive, sent a complete copy to my brother David in Seattle. I heard Lauren's car pull into the driveway, closed all the windows, cleared my browser history, sat at my desk like nothing had happened. She came in glowing. "Hey babe, great content day. Ethan and I just filmed the most amazing manifesting meditation. The engagement's going to be insane." I looked at her. This woman I'd loved for 5 years. This stranger. "That's great," I said. "Glad it went well." She didn't even notice I'd been crying. That night, while she slept in the guest room, I made a plan. I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to beg or fight or give her the satisfaction of making me look desperate. I was going to wait for the perfect moment, wait until she felt safe, wait until she hung herself with her own rope. And then I was going to tell everyone the truth. My brother David said I was playing with fire. I'd flown up to Seattle for a weekend in August, told Lauren it was a work conference, sat in David's living room and showed him everything. "Jesus, Mike," he said, scrolling through my evidence folder. "I'm so sorry." David's older than me by 7 years. Married to his college sweetheart, 2 kids, stable, boring, happy life. He'd always liked Lauren, but never really understood the influencer thing. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to expose her," I said. "Publicly." David looked worried. Are you sure? That's nuclear." "She was going to nuke me first, just privately. Make me disappear from my own life story. But publicly? Mike, you'll both get destroyed. Her followers will come after you. It'll be ugly." "Let them," I said. "I've been invisible for 3 years. Let them finally see me." We strategized. Where would I go after? What was my endgame? How would I handle the fallout? I had it all planned out. I'd already consulted a divorce attorney back in LA, Ruth Silverman, 50s, sharp as hell. Showed her everything. She said California's a no-fault divorce state, but documented infidelity helps in asset division, and since Lauren's income was tied entirely to her reputation. "If her reputation tanks, her income tanks," Ruth said, "and you have a claim to marital assets earned during the marriage. You supported her career growth. That counts." I paid her a $5,000 retainer in cash from my personal account. Got the divorce papers ready to file. "What about defamation?" I asked Ruth. "If I post publicly? If everything you post is true and you can prove it, she'd have a hard time with a defamation case. But it's scorched earth. You sure you want to do this?" I thought about the text I'd read. Just filmed morning routine with Michael. God, I can't wait to be free of this. I'm sure. September came. I'd been living this double life for 6 weeks, playing the supportive husband while building my case. Lauren had no idea. We'd settled into this awful routine where we barely spoke, except about logistics. She was busy planning her future with Ethan. I was busy planning her reckoning. I kept collecting evidence. Every new message, every new lie, every new charge on our joint card. The pattern was so blatant once you saw it. Lauren would post about solo self-care weekends while her texts with Ethan confirmed hotel reservations. She'd post about finding yourself in solitude while charging couples massages. The cognitive dissonance was staggering, and her followers ate it up. Comments on every post. You inspire me. Thank you for being so authentic. Your vulnerable sharing changed my life. I wanted to comment on every single one. It's all fake, every word. But I waited. I knew it was coming, the big announcement. Lauren and Ethan had been planning something major. I'd seen the texts about their Tulum retreat venture, about going public with our partnership, about elevated brand strategy. They were going to launch together, officially, as a brand power couple. They just had to figure out how to handle the Michael problem first. In early September, Lauren started dropping hints. I think we need to talk about our future, Michael. I've been doing a lot of inner work, and I'm realizing I might have outgrown some patterns in my life. My therapist says I need to honor my truth, even when it's uncomfortable for others. She was warming me up, getting ready to leave me, on her terms. But I had other plans. Then came October 12th. I knew something was happening that day. Lauren had blocked out her entire calendar, told me she and Ethan were filming a major project. She left at dawn, came home at sunset, absolutely glowing. She barely acknowledged me, just went straight to her phone, editing content, smiling at her screen like she had the best secret in the world. I sat on the couch pretending to watch TV, my own phone in hand, waiting. At 7 p.m. exactly, my Instagram notification went off. A Lauren Living Authentic posted. I opened it. It was a carousel of 10 photos, professional shots, golden hour lighting, artistic direction. Lauren and Ethan on a beach at sunset, holding hands, laughing, his hand on her waist, her head on his shoulder. Both dressed in white linen, looking at each other like they were in a jewelry commercial. The caption made my vision blur. Big news. Ethan and I are launching Aligned Souls Retreat in Tulum this January. This partnership has been the most transformative journey of my life. When you meet your true soulmate, someone who reflects your highest self back to you, everything becomes possible. Join us for a week of deep healing, conscious connection, and authentic living. Link in bio. Early bird tickets available now. Authentic living. Aligned souls. Transformation journey. Soulmate. She'd tagged Ethan, tagged 6 brand sponsors, tagged the retreat venue. The post had been live for 3 minutes and already had 2,000 likes. The comments were rolling in. OMG, yes! You two are soulmates. I can feel it through the screen. Taking my credit card to that link right now. Power couple energy is insane. Wait, is Lauren married? I thought she had a husband. No, she's always been single. Where did you get that? Lauren was sitting 10 feet away from me on the opposite couch, watching her phone, smiling as the notifications flooded in. She'd called him her soulmate, her true soulmate, publicly, to 250,000 people, and I didn't exist. I stood up, walked over to her, phone in hand. Lauren, what the fuck is this? She barely glanced up. What? I showed her my phone screen, the post, the caption, the photos. Oh, that. It's the retreat launch. We've been working on this for months. You called him your soulmate. She shrugged. It's engagement strategy, Michael. People love that language. It's aspirational. Your hand is on his chest. His hand is on your waist. You're in couples poses. It's called branding. We're selling a partnership retreat. The imagery needs to reflect connection. You called him your true soulmate. It's marketing. She was getting annoyed now. God, you really don't understand social media, do you? This is my job, my career. You've always said you support me. What changed? I almost broke right there, almost showed my hand, almost screamed that I knew everything, that I'd seen every text, that she was a liar and a fraud, and I had proof. Instead, I said, "Nothing, forget it." "Good," she said, turning back to her phone. "I have an early call with Ethan tomorrow to review the retreat metrics. I'm going to bed." She walked away, went to the guest room, closed the door, left me standing there in our living room, looking at photos of my wife with her affair partner, calling him her soulmate. She didn't even try to defend herself. She knew I knew, and she didn't care. I sat back down on the couch, opened my laptop, pulled up the notes app where I'd been drafting my comment for the past month. I'd written it, edited it, refined it. 347 words. Surgical, factual, devastating. Now I just needed to add the details about this post. I spent 20 minutes incorporating the new photos, the new caption, the new layer of lies. When I was done, I read it through one more time. Then I opened the Google Drive folder where I'd stored all my evidence, made it public, copied the link, added the link to my comment. I texted David, "It's happening, now." His reply came back in seconds. "You sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything." "Then burn it down. I've got the spare room ready when you need it." I looked at the post one more time, Lauren's smile, Ethan's hand, the word soulmate in all caps. I opened a throwaway Instagram account I'd created weeks ago. Username, Michael Speaks Truth. No profile picture, no posts. Created solely for this moment. I navigated back to Lauren's post, the one she'd pinned to the top of her feed, the one with 15,000 likes now. I tapped the comment box, pasted my text, hovered my finger over post. Thought about 3 years of being invisible, 3 years of being erased, 14 months of being lied to. Every morning I'd spent holding that ring light. Every night I'd spent alone while she texted him. I posted it. The comment appeared on her post at 7:31 p.m. "Hi everyone, I'm Michael Harrison, Lauren's husband of 3 years, together 5. You might not know I exist since I haven't been in a photo in 18 months, but I've been behind the camera for most of Lauren's content. I'm the one who films her morning routines, sets up her ring lights, and edits her authentic living posts while she builds a brand on values she doesn't practice. Since you're all celebrating Lauren and Ethan's soul connection, I thought you should know they've been having an affair for 14 months. Every solo wellness retreat was actually a hotel stay with Ethan. Every spiritual partnership post was cover for an ongoing relationship. I have 14 months of text messages, photos, hotel receipts, and credit card statements on our joint account. Thanks for charging your affair to me, Lauren. The retreat you're promoting? Built while lying to me daily. The soulmate you keep tagging? That's been going on since August 2023. The authentic living brand? Entirely fake. I've uploaded everything to this link. Google Drive, URL. Timestamps match her Instagram posts. You'll see the real story behind the curated one. All 6 brand sponsors tagged. You might want to review your partnerships. Ethan Cole, enjoy the karma. In Lauren living authentic, I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. You can keep the ring light. Logging off now. Everyone, please actually live authentically. It's better than this. I hit post. Then I immediately went to Lauren's profile and tagged every single person I could think of. Her parents, my parents, her sister Emma, Sarah, and Kevin. Our entire friend group, her closest influencer friends. Every tagged brand in her recent posts. I set my personal Instagram to private, turned off notifications on the throwaway account, stood up, walked to my office, grabbed the bag I'd pre-packed that morning. Lauren was still in the guest room. I could hear her laughing on a call, probably with Ethan, probably celebrating their launch. I opened the door without knocking. She looked up, annoyed. "I'm on a call." "I know about everything," I said. "The affair, Ethan, the hotels, all 14 months. Her face went white. "I just posted proof on your Instagram, on that soulmate post, with receipts, tagged everyone." She dropped her phone. "You didn't. Check for yourself." She grabbed her phone, opened Instagram, and I watched her face cycle through every emotion at once. Horror, panic, rage. "Delete it!" she screamed. "Delete it right now!" "No, Michael, you can't do this. This will destroy me. My career, my sponsors. Your career was built on lies. I'm just telling the truth. Isn't that what authentic living means?" She was crying now, shaking, trying to delete my comment. But I'd posted from a throwaway, and she couldn't remove it without reporting it, and that would take time she didn't have. Michael, please, we can talk about this. I'll end things with Ethan. We can go to counseling. Just delete this. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow, I said. Ruth Silverman is my attorney. Don't contact me. Ever. I picked up my bag, walked toward the door. Lauren followed me, sobbing, grabbing my arm. You're ruining my life. I stopped, looked at her. This woman I'd loved, this stranger. No, I said. You ruined mine. I'm just making sure people know about it. I left, got in my car, still parked in the driveway, sat for a moment. Then I turned my phone notifications back on for exactly 10 minutes, just to watch. The comment had 847 likes in 3 minutes. The replies were pouring in. Holy shit. I knew something was off. This is insane. Opened the Google Drive and oh my God. She's deleting comments, but someone already screenshot everything. Lauren was trying to delete my comment. But you can't unring a bell. People were already screen recording, downloading, sharing. Someone had posted my comment as a screenshot on Twitter. Influencer gets exposed by husband in Instagram comments. It was spreading. I watched the Google Drive analytics. 2,341 people had accessed the evidence folder in 5 minutes. My phone buzzed. Text from friends. Kevin, dude, is this real? Sarah, oh my God, Michael, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Where are you? Lauren's sister. Emma, what the fuck did you do? I didn't answer any of them. I checked Lauren's Instagram one more time. She'd deleted the retreat post entirely, but it didn't matter. It was everywhere now. Reddit threads, Twitter quotes, TikTok videos already analyzing the evidence. Her follower count was dropping. 250K, 249K, 247K. One of the brand sponsors had already removed their tag from her posts. Lauren had posted an Instagram story. Taking a break from my mental health, sending love and light. I laughed. It came out harsh, hollow. Even now, she was trying to control the narrative. I turned off my phone completely, started the car, drove toward the highway, 3-hour drive to Seattle, to David's house, to somewhere Lauren wasn't. I didn't listen to music, didn't listen to podcasts, just drove in silence, processing everything. I'd done it. I'd actually done it. I'd exposed her, destroyed her carefully curated world, made her pay. So, why did I feel so empty? I got to David's house around 11 p.m. He'd waited up, hugged me at the door without saying anything. We sat on his couch. I told him everything that had happened in the last 4 hours. How do you feel? He asked. I don't know, I said. Empty, relieved, terrified, numb. That's normal. Is it? You just blew up your entire life, Mike. Of course you feel weird. I checked my phone one last time before turning it back off. Lauren's follower count, 255K. She'd lost 5,000 followers in 4 hours. The retreat website was gone, completely down. Reddit had 3 separate threads about the situation, all with thousands of upvotes. Someone had created a TikTok compilation of Lauren's authentic living posts side by side with my evident screenshots. It had 200,000 views already. Twitter was calling it the most brutal Instagram revenge of 2024. And me, I was the story, finally visible, finally seen. I turned my phone completely off, handed it to David. Don't let me look at this for at least 3 days. Deal. I slept for 12 hours straight. No nightmares, no crying, no panic, just deep, dreamless sleep. For the first time in months, I didn't wake up to the sound of a ring light clicking on at 6 a.m. I woke up to silence, and it felt like peace. The fallout was everything I expected and worse. By the time I turned my phone back on 3 days later, the internet had fully processed what happened, and it wasn't pretty. Lauren's follower count had dropped to 198K. She'd lost 52,000 followers in 72 hours. Every single brand deal was gone. All 6 sponsors had released statements, carefully worded, PR approved, about no longer being aligned with Lauren's values and taking ethics seriously in our partnerships. The retreat was completely dead. The venue had canceled their contract, and apparently Ethan's wellness center had lost 60% of its clients. Reddit called me a hero. Twitter was split, half calling me justified, half calling me cruel for the public humiliation. TikTok was having a field day. Wellness influencers were posting response videos about authenticity and accountability. Drama channels were breaking down every piece of evidence I'd posted. Someone had made a 30-minute YouTube documentary analyzing the whole thing. I was trending. Lauren was trending. Authentic Living Exposed was a hashtag. And Lauren? She'd posted one more time, a long Instagram caption about being in therapy, working on herself, taking accountability for mistakes made during a difficult time in her marriage. Never explicitly mentioning the affair, never mentioning Ethan, never actually apologizing. The comments on that post were brutal. This isn't accountability. You destroyed your marriage and you're calling it a difficult time? Where's the real apology? You got caught. That's not growth. Still no mention of your husband. But there were some supportive comments too. People talking about cancel culture, about how everyone makes mistakes, about how public humiliation was cruel regardless of what someone did. Those comments made me feel complicated. I'd wanted consequences. I'd wanted her to feel what I felt, erased, humiliated, powerless, mission accomplished. She'd lost her career, her income, her reputation, but she'd also lost her privacy, her dignity, her sense of safety. And I'd done that, intentionally, publicly, permanently. My parents called me that week. They were supportive, but uncomfortable. "We're proud of you for standing up for yourself," my dad said. "But son, did it have to be so public?" "She was planning to make it public anyway," I said, "on her terms, with me as the villain." "We know," my mom said. We worry about you. This is going to follow you." They were right. My name was attached to this story now. The husband who destroyed his influencer wife's career. Some people would always see me as a hero. Others would see me as cruel. I'd have to live with that. Sarah and Kevin took me out for dinner when I got back to LA in late October. I'd moved to a new apartment, couldn't stay in the old place, couldn't even look at it. "How are you doing?" Sarah asked carefully. "I don't know," I said honestly. I thought I'd feel better, more vindicated, but mostly I just feel tired. "That makes sense," Kevin said. "You went through something traumatic." "Did I go too far?" I asked them, the question that had been eating at me for weeks. Sarah and Kevin exchanged a look. "Honestly," Sarah said, "I don't know. What Lauren did was awful, absolutely awful, but what you did was a lot." "She deserved consequences," Kevin added quickly, "but maybe not national trending topic consequences." "So I'm the asshole." "No," Sarah said firmly. "You're hurt, you're angry, you wanted justice, but justice is complicated, and you made a choice that can't be unmade." I appreciated their honesty. They didn't pick sides, they just told me the truth. Two of our mutual friends completely cut me off, sent messages about how cruel I'd been, how I'd ruined a woman's life over a mistake, how they couldn't support that kind of vindictiveness. I didn't argue, just accepted that some friendships were casualties. The worst part came in early November. I got a voicemail from Lauren. 2:34 a.m. Her voice was destroyed, slurring, breaking, barely coherent. "Michael, I know you won't answer. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I see their comments every time I close my eyes. They tell me to kill myself, Michael. Hundreds of them. Every single day. I know I hurt you. I know. But did you have to make the whole world hate me? I lost everything. My career, my income, my friends. My family thinks I'm a monster. Ethan won't even talk to me. He said I'm too toxic for his brand now. I'm alone. Completely alone. And I think about just..." Long pause, sobbing. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I loved you. I did. I don't know who I am anymore." The message ended. I listened to it 3 times. My hands were shaking. She sounded suicidal. She sounded like I had felt sitting on my bathroom floor reading her texts to Ethan. I'd wanted her to hurt, to feel what I felt. And now she did. Was that justice? Or was it just more pain? I called her sister Emma. We hadn't spoken since the night of the post. "Emma, I just got a really concerning voicemail from Lauren. Is she safe?" Emma's voice was ice. "She's with us. We're watching her. No thanks to you. I need to know she's okay. Why? You already destroyed her. What else do you want? I don't want her to hurt herself, Emma. Then maybe you shouldn't have humiliated her in front of 250,000 people. She hung up. I sat with that voicemail for days, weeks, played it over and over. I started seeing a therapist, Dr. Patricia Morgan, recommended by David. Older woman, kind but direct. I think I destroyed her, I told her in our third session. You exposed the truth, Dr. Morgan said. She destroyed herself with her choices, but you chose how to reveal that truth, and you chose a nuclear option. So I'm the bad guy. You're a hurt person who made a choice. We can examine that choice without making you a villain or a hero. Hurt people hurt people. That's just true. I thought I'd feel better. Revenge rarely makes us feel better. It just makes us feel powerful briefly. But you're not powerful. You're grieving. That hit harder than anything. I was grieving. The marriage I thought I had. The person I thought Lauren was. The version of myself who believed in authentic living. All of it was gone. Over the next few months, I started actually healing. I stayed in Seattle through November, working remotely, spending time with David and his family. His kids didn't know about the drama. They just knew Uncle Mike was visiting, and he made really good pancakes. It was nice, being around people who saw me as just me. Not the revenge guy, not Lauren's ex, just Mike. I started hiking again, real hiking, not let me film you for content hiking. Just me and trails and silence. I picked up my guitar for the first time in years. Played badly, but it felt good. I cooked dinner for David's family, messy pasta and experimental desserts and no photos for Instagram. I started journaling, actual private journaling, not content planning. Writing out everything I felt. Anger, guilt, relief, confusion. Dr. Morgan encouraged me to write a letter to Lauren that I'd never send, just to process. I wrote 20 pages about what she'd taken from me, about what I'd taken from her, about how we'd both failed each other in different ways. I never sent it, but writing it helped. In December, the divorce was finalized. Lauren didn't contest anything. She couldn't afford a lawyer, and honestly, she had no leverage. The settlement gave me 40% of our marital assets. More than I expected. Ruth had really leveraged the documented affair and the financial fraud with the joint credit card. Lauren kept her Instagram accounts and whatever was left of her brand, which wasn't much. No alimony either direction. Clean break. I signed the papers in Ruth's office and felt nothing. Not relief, not sadness, just tired. How do you feel? Ruth asked. Like it's finally over. It is. You're free. But I didn't feel free. I felt empty. I moved back to LA in early December. Got a new apartment in Silver Lake, smaller than the old place. Actually affordable on just my salary. Decorated it with my own stuff. Books, plants, my guitar, no ring lights, no photo backdrops, no content calendar on the fridge. Just my space. I deleted Instagram from my phone permanently. Deleted Twitter. Deleted TikTok. If people were still talking about what happened, I didn't want to know. I was done being a character in someone else's narrative, including my own revenge story. And then, in late December, something unexpected happened. I was at a coffee shop in Silver Lake, working on my laptop, when a woman approached my table. You're Michael, right? From that Instagram thing? My stomach dropped. Yeah, that's me. She smiled, not meanly, just kindly. I'm Rachel. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. That whole situation must have been awful. I was surprised. Most people either wanted to celebrate me or judge me. Nobody just offered sympathy. Thanks, I said. It was complicated. Can I sit for a second? Sure. Rachel sat down. She was around my age, maybe a little older, warm eyes, no phone in her hand. I don't want to make this weird, she said, but I went through something similar, different circumstances, but betrayal, public mess, whole thing. I just wanted you to know that it gets better. The weird feeling, the guilt, it fades. How long did it take you? About a year, and therapy, lots of therapy. We talked for an hour, about heartbreak, about healing, about how weird it was to have your personal pain become public entertainment. Rachel was a graphic designer. She'd been cheated on by her ex-fiancé 3 years ago. Different kind of situation. He'd left her for her cousin, made it messy at family events, tried to turn people against her. She'd been tempted to expose him publicly too, but didn't. "Do you regret not doing it?" I asked. "Sometimes, but I think I would have regretted doing it more. Everyone's different though. You did what felt right to you." Did I though, or did I just want to hurt her? Maybe both. That's okay. You're human. We exchanged numbers. No romantic energy, just connection. Two people who'd been through similar fires. Over the next few months, Rachel and I became friends. Coffee every week, then dinner sometimes. Long conversations about everything except our exes. She had zero social media presence. "I like real life better," she said. "Me too," I realized. Now. By April 2025, 6 months after everything exploded, I started to feel almost normal. Work was good. I'd gotten a promotion, actually. Turns out I was pretty good at my job when I wasn't spending all my energy on someone else's content schedule. My apartment felt like home. I'd hosted David's family for a weekend, cooked for friends, started a weekly game night with Kevin and some guys from work. Rachel and I started dating, slowly, carefully. We'd both been burned, both needed to take things at our own pace. She met David and his wife. They loved her. "She's so real," David said. "Like, actually real." "Yeah," I said. "She is." I thought about Lauren less and less. Not every day, not even every week. And then one day in April, Sarah texted me. FYI, Lauren tried a comeback, posted an apology video, and started a new account. Didn't really take off. Think she moved to Portland and is working retail now. Just thought you should know, in case it comes up. I stared at the text. Felt sad. Not satisfied. Just sad. "Thanks for letting me know," I texted back. "I hope she's okay." And I meant it. I didn't look her up, didn't check her new account, didn't need to know more. That chapter was closed. I ran into Emma, Lauren's sister, in late April. Random chance at a Trader Joe's. We both froze. She looked like she was deciding whether to ignore me or confront me. Instead, she just said, Hey, how are you?" "Good, you?" "Fine. She's doing okay, moved to Portland, got an apartment, working at a bookstore, going to therapy." "That's good. I'm glad." Emma studied me. "You actually mean that?" "Yeah," she nodded. "For what it's worth, I think you were both wrong. What she did was awful. What you did was awful. But I get why you did it. Thanks. I hope you're happy, Michael. Really. I hope Lauren finds peace." We parted ways. It felt like closure I didn't know I needed. These days, and this is where I'll leave this story, I'm okay. Not perfect. Still in therapy, still processing what happened, still dealing with occasional guilt when I remember Lauren's voicemail or see an article about the dark side of influencer culture that uses our story as an example. But I have my own life now, my own space, my own identity that isn't tied to anyone else's brand. I cook without photographing, hike without documenting, spend time with people who know me as me, not as someone's support system or someone's villain origin story. Rachel and I are taking it slow, but it's good. Real. She knows my whole story, and she doesn't judge me for it. "You did what you needed to do," she says, "and you're learning from it. That's what matters." People ask me sometimes if I regret it, the post, the exposure, the nuclear option. Honestly, I don't know. I regret that it came to that. I regret that I lost myself so completely that scorched earth felt like my only option. I regret that 2 people had to get destroyed for the truth to come out. But I don't regret standing up for myself. I don't regret refusing to be erased. Lauren and I both paid a price. Hers was public. Her career, her reputation, her carefully built world. Mine was private. My trust, my ability to be vulnerable. 3 years of my life I'll never get back. I don't think either of us won. I think we both lost. Just differently. But here's what I gained. I'm real now. No performance, no curated version, no pretending. Just me. Living authentically, actually. And if you're going through something similar, betrayal, erasure, the choice between confronting or exposing, I can't tell you what to do. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's breaking point is different. But I can tell you this. Whatever you choose, make sure you can live with it, because you're the one who has to wake up with that choice every single day. For me, I wake up in my own apartment, make my own coffee, live my own life. No ring lights, no hashtags, no brand to maintain, just me. Finally, and honestly, that feels like authentic living.